Hi, I'm Ray, and today I'll be presenting on my Year 11 English ATAR course presentation. So, how does my course meet English ATAR requirements? So, I've taken some of these excerpts from the curriculum documents. So, students will be completing a close study of Nella Larsen's Passing and an overall wide reading or viewing of a range of different videos, short stories, film excerpts, etc. They'll be analysing throughout all of these meaning, language, structure, stylistic conventions connected to context, meaning, and purpose. They'll also be responding to text in various ways, creating texts and self-reflecting, analysing and evaluating the purpose, stylistic qualities, and conventions of texts, and enjoy creating their own imaginative, interpretive, persuasive, analytical, etc. So here's my initial planning sequence. So first of all, I'm starting out with an introduction to critical analysis. So students, before they start reading their main text, which is Passing, they'll read MacDonald and Pryor's picture book to introduce students to the topic of racial identity in a bit more of like an approachable format. And they can basically go through and contribute to the surface ideology, which is the visible layer of country, passive ideology of country, and the underlying climate of belief. So then we've got our personal growth model, so just aligned again with the 4 models of English. So students will start off by watching Beyond Blue's Invisible Discriminator, going through a check your privilege activity of the scrunched up paper walls, just to encourage critical literacy and an acknowledgement of privilege. I'll also use a local landscape winding path symbol to map the scope and sequence for the year with with seasonal changes, which is intended to accommodate for Indigenous ways of knowing, being and doing, and then just reviewing the unit focus. Then we actually get on to reading Larsen's Passing and Close Study, which investigates the identity of a woman of colour, instead of other Eurocentric classics such as Shakespeare's tragedy or Austen's novels. And then just going on, students will write window notes. Also on the video that I'll provide about the specific genre, do think, pair and shares, and then go into a whole class circle of knowledge. And then, so we'll move on to the skills model. So students in pairs, small groups will conduct close analysis of one selected chapter's use of literary techniques, and really just developing youth literacies by uploading their analyses to the class WordPress website. All right, and then finally we've got the cultural analysis model. So this is where the summative assessment comes in. So I've completed diagnostic for the first phase, and then predominantly formative assessment modes for the other 3 stages that I've just showed. But pretty much just moving on to having a digital text, a graphic novel, short film clip, or so from where I was just leaving off, so it's really open in terms of practicing youth literacies and being able to create a short film clip or image-based blog posts. And this is how my course will really meet the needs of diverse learners in innovative ways. So I was considering supporting students who are refugees, students who are Indigenous, who speak English as a second language, and also need a lot of scaffolding. So here's just how I would collect evidence and also provide feedback, which would monitor student learning. And again, I've touched on how I would assess across the course just based on the 5 phases that I've got. So the first phase would be diagnostic, the next 3 are all formative, and my final summative assessment is just featured in the cultural analysis finally. And then this is the summative assessment marking key that I'll be using. And here are my references. Thank you so much for watching.